All right, let's just get right into it. We're going to talk about one of the most unsettling, but also one of the most profoundly human experiences you can possibly have, the existential crisis. It's that moment when your mind just slams on the brakes and asks this terrifyingly simple question. And there it is. Maybe it hits you when you're stuck in traffic or, doing the dishes, just scrolling on your phone. It just lands with this physical weight. This sudden, overwhelming feeling that everything you're doing is for what? What is it all for? And just like that, the world you thought you knew just shifts. Your job, your goals, all your daily routines, they suddenly feel so hollow. Like you're just an actor going through the motions on some empty stage. The script you've been following your whole life, it suddenly feels completely meaningless. It's that feeling you get when you look up at the night sky, right? But instead of awe, you feel this crushing sense of smallness. And I don't mean the beautiful, poetic kind. I mean the I don't matter at all kind of small. This feeling, it has a name. And listen to me, it is not a sign that you are broken. So welcome to what feels like the midnight void. But here's the secret. And this is what we're really digging into here. This feeling isn't your mind breaking down. No way. It's actually a sign that it's finally, truly waking up. So why does this even happen? Well, to understand the void, we first have to understand the machine that's perceiving it, your brain. And what's so fascinating is that our brains are fundamentally wired for one specific, absolutely crucial job. At our core, we are meaning-making machines. Seriously, unlike any other animal on the planet, we don't just live, we narrate. Psychologists will tell you that we need a why to endure pretty much any how. We have to have a story to make sense of everything around us. And this is the key. The crisis hits when your personal narrative just collapses. That story you've been telling yourself about your career or your social status or your 5-year plan, suddenly it rings false. Your brain has this sudden realization that the universe didn't come with an instruction manual, and it panics. For our ancestors, the why was pretty straightforward. Just survive. There wasn't a lot of time to sit around and ponder existence when you were worried about finding your next meal or, not becoming one. But for so many of us today, our basic survival needs are met. So that powerful searchlight our brain uses to find purpose, it's turned inward, from the how of survival to the why of existence. And get this is what explains that physical weight of it all. That ancient survival instinct, it's still in there. So when your brain can't find a clear purpose, a mission, it misfires. It literally treats a lack of meaning like there's a predator just outside the cave, and it triggers this life or death emergency response. That crushing feeling in your chest, that's what that is. Okay, so we get the feeling and we get the cause. But now comes the turning point, because we can completely reframe this entire experience. Instead of seeing it as a void, I want you to think of your existential crisis as a necessary system reset, like a glitch in the matrix. Think about it. For most of our lives, we are running on autopilot. We're just following scripts written by society, our families, our culture. A crisis is that jarring moment when the autopilot just shuts off. It's a system failure that forces you, maybe for the very first time, to actually look at the code that's been running your life. And this illustrates the perspective shift we need perfectly. It feels so desolate, right? Like a barren desert where nothing can possibly grow. But what if it's not a desert? What if it's a clearing? A wide open space that you've just created, totally free from all the old junk, where you can finally build something that is true for you. The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl, he understood this on a level few people ever could. He realized that the primary human drive isn't pleasure, it's meaning. Your crisis isn't a malfunction, it's your mind demanding something real. It's basically your brain refusing to live a lie anymore. So how do you navigate this clearing? How do you build that new, authentic meaning? Well, here's the thing. You don't find the point of life, you create it. So this final section is all about the toolkit. It's about becoming the author of your own story. And really, it comes down to 3 practical, powerful strategies. These aren't about finding some grand cosmic answer from the universe. No, they're about building a bridge, one step at a time, out of the void and into a life that is of your own design. So, step 1, embrace optimistic nihilism. Now, I know nihilism sounds like a total downer. It's the belief that life has no objective meaning. But the optimistic part is the game changer. If the universe has no inherent meaning, well, then there's no grand test you can fail. You're free. You can enjoy a cup of coffee or a good conversation just because it feels good, not because it matters on some cosmic scale. Second, when that big why just feels impossible to answer, focus on a small why. This is what we call the micro-purpose strategy. Can you make one person smile today? Can you learn one new chord on the guitar? These small, achievable loops of meaning, these are the planks you use to build your bridge. And finally, and this is maybe the most important step of all, choose action over analysis. You cannot sit in a room and think your way out of an existential crisis. It doesn't work. Meaning isn't found in thought. It's a byproduct of doing. So just act. Don't wait around for a sign from the universe. Be the sign. So the next time you feel that void opening up, just remember this. It isn't some enemy there to swallow you whole. It's a blank page. And it's there to remind you that the pen has always, always been in your hand. You are the author. So, what story are you going to write?